Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. This time we're in Budget Haven because I spent £3 on these paints. That's right, £3 for gouache. So we've got a black, a sap green, a primary blue, crimson red, lemon yellow and a white. I would hope is titanium white, I guess. Oh no, what is it? Is it zinc? And the black, well, I'm assuming it's ivory black, but it might be something else. So that was £3 for the paints. It's simply paint set Daily Rowney. Opaque watercolour gouache. Well, gouache is opaque watercolour. That's why they put that on there. It's basically watercolour with chalk in it. So, we've got that. We've got this set of brushes. It was the cheapest set of brushes I could see. And we have like the fan brush and then smaller brushes. I mean, if you was going to go crazy on the budget, you had a spare £1.50, then you could get yourself a cheap graduate brush. That's what I normally use, one of these. But I'm going to stick to the budget option. This time, anyway. So I thought it'd be a good little challenge to do budget painting. Using budget paints, budget brushes. And this book, to be fair, so now you know what they are. Craft scrapbooks. I get them from all different places, so the brand isn't important. But these ones are 200 GSM, 80 pages. So I should move that away. So this was $4.99. Not a bad little size. It's a good one for going out and about painting with, I would say, this sort of size. This is an 8x8. An 8x8 scrapbook. Sometimes I use bigger scrapbooks and sometimes smaller. It all depends on what I'm going to do. If I'm painting at home, then I'm probably going to use a bigger one. But then sometimes, again, I don't. Sometimes I just set myself up quickly, do a quick sketch of a little bird or something, and then there we go. Happy days. But let's see what we can do in this little book. So I've got the brushes out. So all you need now really is some water and some sort of a palette. So I just, you could use a cup, a coffee mug, whatever. I'm using a fruit bowl. Oh, these brushes are a bit small actually. They're quite. I suppose these would be good because of the length of them for your pocket and stuff like that. If you're going out painting, I'm going to try and do this with these brushes, but straight away I'm seeing issues with the fan brush. I don't think it's going to be possible because it's going like this. So I might have to spend that £1.50 and get one of these. So anyway, what we've spent here, if you include this brush, because I'm going to have issues, I can see it. But if you bought these brushes, that's £1.20, and then one of these for £1.50. These 3 brushes will be alright. I'm not sure about this fan brush, I don't know. Might be alright for some stuff. I think it needed a little bit of a stronger fan brush than this. But these little brushes will be alright. Yeah, so that's still only £3. So your paints and your brushes, that's still £6. So that is a bargain, isn't it? It's a absolute bargain. And then five quid for this, so £11 altogether on your art supplies. that's a good price to get you going anyway. So, I've got this idea, so I'm going to paint this, and I'll see how well these paints do by having a go at painting that little painting. We'll try and paint it anyway. I'm not sure what's going to happen, because we are about to use student quality paints. So I'm going to put these brushes to the one side a sec. Chuck them in the water. And let's have a look at these paints. Well, what I would normally have is brown, but you don't actually. Oh, they're sealed like that, so you gotta go bloop. Let's push some blue out. We're doing a cabin, aren't we? A bit of light, cabin, sky. I might have some black. We might need it just to darken our greens and things. We'll use greens and reds. So I'll have green there. I'll have a bit of red. Don't forget to go like that. What's this? Oh yeah, it was a crimson red, wasn't it? Crimson, it's a lemon yellow. Lemon yellow. And then a white. Now I always recommend getting more white than you think you'll need, because you always need more. Interesting. An intriguing white, totally different to what I'm used to actually, that. And the texture of the paints as well is a little bit thin, but I suppose you'd expect that with the old student range. This is like economy range, isn't it really? But let's see what happens, because you can still paint a painting. It doesn't matter what you're using, really. Well, this is what my belief is. And we shall see today. So a bit of blue and red. For the sky. I might not do it as... I'm changing my idea as I go. So let's put this on here. Something I usually do, which I haven't done yet, is tear out a sheet, and then you can put that underneath as your bleed, because sometimes your paint can bleed through. I don't want that to happen. So, a bit more of the red and blue. We'll have our sky about here. Sky to about there. And then we'll have our water. I'm just throwing in red and blue. Oh, put a bit of yellow in then. Whoops. Red and blue, red and blue. We've got our water. We've got some water that goes here. And this painting. you can make your rivers bendy or straight as you want. I'm sort of imagining the ones at the side of the farmer's field. So, I've got my colour in. You see, I started to think if it's a little bit darker, then my white in the sky is going to show up nicely. So, I'm thinking I might go a little bit lighter than that. That's interesting. I put the white in, look. Let's see what our colour is. There might be a bit more red in it. Get this sort of grey. And I'll use this to lighten my sky. Because it was a little bit of a weird blue otherwise. Lighten the sky with this. A little bit. And the water as well. So you always have to remember when you're using gouache to lighten things a little bit more than you want them to be, because they're going to dry a little bit too dark. They dry darker. The dark dries darker and the light does as well. So you have to do your lights brighter and your darks darker. So we was going to have a bit of a moon shape here. It's still wet, so I'm going to get a bit on my finger. That's how I would normally do it. Go like that. Quite like that actually. In the water as well. Okay, so we've got a little bit of colour in the water. The moon. I'm going to throw in a little bit of green into my colour, just a little bit. And get some more of this blue, a bit of red. I'm going to put some ground in here first, using this green. So it's got a lot of the blue and the red colour in it, but it's slightly different. Thinking there'd be a bit of a green tint to the ground for the grass. You know, I was saying about the cost of the brushes. So far I've used one brush. So for £1.50 you could get away with just using the one brush. I know when we're taught painting, we always, well, it might be just me, but I look at the books and I'm like, oh, I need one of these, I need one of these brushes, I need one of these, I need one of these. And you buy all these brushes and then you only use about 3 of them. These people are selling us all this stuff. We never use it. I remember I used to have tons of brushes. Loads of different brushes for every kind of thing. So as this dries, it should start looking the way it looks like for me, which is like this, something like this, and it'll fade. Colours start fading a little bit. So I'll just hold this up like that so you can see it a bit better. See, these paints in the tube, when you get them, they are quite wet. So you can, go for it quite quick. But at the same time, the paints that I'm used to using are not quite as. Mine are quite dry because of the pigment load in them. So it's a slight difference. I mean, it's not stopped me though, has it? Still sloshing the paint around happily. Just shows you don't need to break the bank, doesn't it, to start painting. I'm going to put a building in. Unfortunately, I don't have the brown that I like, the umber, the burnt umber. So green and red makes a brown. See, green and red. A bit of yellow in it. Bit of blue in it to dull it, because I want it to be seen in this, within the right colour. So the light's going to be going onto this one side of this building. I was going to do it. Oh, I haven't put any trees in. Let's use one of these brushes. Might as well. They're in the budget. See, I always think of like a structured video and then it all disappears, that structure. So we've got a little bit of red in this colour. A little bit more red in the blue. The green. Just so I can see it. I just want some tree shapes back there. But this is definitely a good set for going out painting. If you just want like a set that you don't want to stress about, a set of materials that are quite cheap and you just want to have a play, it's just, it's good fun, isn't it? Not too bad. I'll give this brush 2 thumbs up. I should start getting materials and test them and see what I think. Start having a thumbs up rating. There we go, it's looking like that now. I'll try and do that for you so you can see it better. So I'm going to get some blue in this browny colour because I want to create the house that's here. There's a house here. The side there. The front there. Sort of bleeds in with that colour, but that's alright. The roof, I'm going to go for like a reddish blue. Just let that dry a little bit. So I'm going to put some windows in there. do that bit straighter there. Might get a little bit more red. A little bit more light for that rooftop. I'll use this little brush again. I'm finding my paint's taking longer to dry than normal, because usually because of the lack of water and the more pigment load, it's a bit quicker with the more expensive paints. And the paints that I make, if I'm going to make a gouache, I make it to a consistency of oil paints, so it's got that buttery consistency. Going to exaggerate the light on the side of this roof. And I want the windows to have a bit of lighting. So I'm going to get some this yellow over here and red. So I want to make more of a cadmium looking yellow, the lemon yellow and the red. Throw it together. Maybe chuck in a bit of white as well. Make a cadmium yellow light. Similar sort of look. That's the thing with yellows. You can get a lemon yellow, and you can get lemon yellow. It's quite cheap. And then you could get a cadmium red, and use your cadmium red for your reds that you need. And then when you want to make like a warm yellow, you can use a little bit of cadmium red in your lemon yellow, and that way you've got a. You can use two yellows, lemon yellow, and then mix in a little bit of red and you got cadmium yellow. It's just another little cheeky money saving tip. I mean, it doesn't save as much as it does buying cheap paints, but yeah, it's just a thought. Just a thought. So we want a window on there. Another one there. I'll put one up in the roof bit there. And then I want my door to have some light. So I have my door there. Something like that anyway. Bit of light. Maybe I could put in a bit of a path. Where would I have a path? I want to darken some of that so it just gets some of it. There we go. Just put a little bit of greeny at the base of the put in on my design. What did I have? Did I have a tree? No, I didn't. I had a bit of darker colour there, just to break things up a little bit. What I might do, add a little bit of light. Imagine the moon's hitting some of this, the moonlight. Just catching some of that area. Maybe not so much there, but then it does. And then we can keep this light going along here. On the rough terrain, glinting on the grass. Why not? Maybe get some of this grass growing a bit better than this. Throw in a little bit of black. A bit of lighter. I didn't really want it to be too dark yet, so I want to put some kind of differences in the ground, but I want to sort of flatten it off as well. Different colours. You can sort of get some colour in a situation like that. It'd be mostly black and white, but I've put colours in just for interest, really. Okay, and then what I might do, use a bit of this colour. Just a bit of some of that light hitting the ground. I could put a little chimney on it as well, couldn't I? A bit of a chimney. I always think, oh, if you're going to put a chimney on, you might as well go for it and get a bit of the chimney smoke. You could play around with the colour as well, like for this side of the building you could have the moon hitting that roof a little bit more on that side there. Something like that. And then I want 2 trees. Let's try this other brush. There's another one that's got a longer one. That's going to work for our tree, I think. Just making a dark, bit of the black, bit of the red, bit of the green. Makes a dark brown. We had a couple of trees here. little branches. And I can use that dark just to create an area there. I think all I can see is maybe there would be a little bit of a shadow in the water. Always use the even smaller brush. Can get some blue and white. Tiny bit of red in it as well. Blue, white and red. And I can use that to add some movement in this water. Don't need it to be moving too much, just a little bit. Just wanted a little bit of a change in there. And you could even cheat a little bit of light, hitting the moonlight, hitting this side of the tree as well if you wanted. I say cheat it because it probably wouldn't light it up, but that's the thing about painting, you can be a bit like a movie and create things that don't actually happen, just to add something to it. Like down there, maybe the light's really hitting that tree. So yeah, I think I'll call this one finished, but it just gives you an example of what you could do with some materials. I'm going to put a little bird in. Couple there. Maybe I'll put another one in. Just shows you what you can do with a few materials. If you're on a limited budget, it's possible. You can do it still, and you'll get used to the materials anyway. Did I notice a massive difference between using these two artist paints? It's not massive, but you can tell the difference. And what I'll do is I'll have a go at painting I'll do a side-by-side comparison actually with the paints. Maybe not painting, or I don't know. It'd be good to see. Actually, maybe I could do it now. So if you look at the I'll just move this to the side while it dries. Like the white paint there, you can see how flat it is to the plate, and then if you pour out some artist level gouache, look at how it's this is nearly used up Winsor & Newton designer gouache, but look how much whiter it is for one, and how it's stuck up like an oil paint. That's the difference I noticed, is this it's very sort of goopy. It's still usable, I mean we still did a painting, but sometimes the value for money idea that student paints are value for money isn't always true. If it becomes something that you're going to do more often, then the investment in the better paints is actually more value for money. It's just because you're doing a lot of paintings, you're better off doing a lot of paintings with the more designer type gouache, like these sort of Winsor & Newton designer gouache, or you can get these used a lot of this, the Schmink, or you can do what I do and make your own and tube it yourself, and you can make huge tubes, and it's another way of saving money. So I'll do a video on how to make gouache as well, how I made some. So anyway, thanks very much for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.